Have you ever truly wondered what it means to be you? Not just your name, your memories, or your daily thoughts, but the real self behind it all. Ancient civilizations across the world have wrestled with this question. But the Avestan cosmology, the spiritual worldview of the ancient Zoroastrians, offers one of the most profound, intricate, and overlooked answers in human history. This is not just philosophy. This is ancient spiritual science, rooted in the cosmic order of the universe. It's about soul, self-realization, divine consciousness, and how the very essence of you is woven into the eternal battle between light and darkness, truth and deception. In this video, we're diving into the sacred texts of the Avesta, exploring how this ancient system understands the self, not as an isolated ego, but as a dynamic force that's cosmically entangled with Ahura Mazda, the supreme divine intelligence. We'll decode the Avestan view of the human soul, the role of Fravashi, the pre-existent self, and why in this cosmology, becoming your true self means aligning with Asha, the universal order of truth. If you're interested in mysticism, ancient wisdom, Zoroastrian theology, or just want a deeper understanding of what it means to be alive, then stay with me. Because what you're about to hear might just change how you see yourself forever. Let's begin. To truly understand the Avestan concept of the self, we first need to step into the world of Avestan cosmology, the spiritual backbone of Zoroastrianism, one of the world's oldest monotheistic religions. Originating in ancient Persia, Zoroastrianism offers a rich tapestry of myth, philosophy, and sacred symbolism. But at its heart lies a remarkably sophisticated vision of human identity, one that sees the self not merely as flesh and blood, but as something far more sacred. In this worldview, the self is not your body. It's not even your thoughts or emotions. It is your Fravashi, your eternal soul, your pre-existing spiritual essence. The Fravashi is believed to be a divine spark, existing even before birth. It is your higher self, your guardian spirit, and your inner compass. The Fravashi guides the individual through life, whispering truth, aligning you with the universal order known as Asha. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. In Avestan cosmology, the self is never seen as isolated or autonomous. Instead, it exists in cosmic relationship, deeply connected to Ahura Mazda, the supreme creative force, the embodiment of wisdom and light. Your soul is part of a vast spiritual ecosystem, and the way you live, your thoughts, your choices, your alignment with truth, ripples outward into the cosmic balance between good and evil. This isn't just about personal enlightenment, it's about cosmic responsibility. The Avestan self is called to participate in the great battle for order and truth, not by conquering others, but by mastering the inner world. By aligning the self with Asha, the divine order, you don't just become enlightened, you become a force of cosmic harmony. This is where ancient spirituality meets timeless relevance. Because in an age of confusion and fragmentation, the Avestan idea of the self reminds us that we are not random fragments in a meaningless void. We are part of a divine pattern, each of us a sacred thread in the fabric of the universe. So what exactly is the self in Avestan cosmology? To answer that, we need to peel back the layers. Because in Zoroastrian thought, the soul is not a single entity. It is a multi-dimensional being composed of different layers that work together in the sacred journey of life. Let's begin with the most visible, the physical body. This is the outer shell, the earthly vessel. It houses the soul during its time in the material world. The Avestan texts recognize the body's role, but also its limitations and impermanence. It is temporary. It can suffer, decay, and ultimately return to the earth. But it is also sacred because it allows the soul to act, choose, and grow. Next comes the unseen, yet deeply felt, the mental body. This is the realm of thought, emotion, and desire. In the Avistan view, this is where the battle of the self truly unfolds. It is here that we make choices between good and evil, between truth and deceit. Our thoughts are not passive. They are creative forces that shape the trajectory of the soul. As the ancient Zoroastrians believed, good thoughts, good words, good deeds, these aren't just moral slogans. They are spiritual technologies that influence the soul's evolution. And at the deepest level, the spiritual body. This is the Fravashi, the eternal essence of the individual. It existed before your birth and continues after your death. It is the direct link to Ahura Mazda, the divine source of wisdom and truth. The spiritual body holds your true identity, not the one shaped by society or ego, but the one rooted in cosmic truth. It is here, in the spiritual body, where our true potential resides. The Avistan self is not defined by circumstances, failures, or fears, but by its innate connection to the divine. These layers, the physical, mental, and spiritual, are not separate. They are interwoven, constantly influencing each other. And the work of life, according to Avestan cosmology, is to bring them into harmony, to align them with Asha, the divine order, and to become not just human, but divinely human. So how does the Avestan self stay connected to the divine? The answer is both stunningly simple and spiritually profound. Good thoughts, good words, good deeds. In Zoroastrianism, these are not just ethical guidelines. They are spiritual tools. Each thought you think, each word you speak, and each action you take is a ripple in the cosmic sea. And those ripples either align you with the divine or pull you into chaos. The Avestan sages taught that every choice you make carries cosmic weight. This is the power of the self, not in dominating others, but in mastering your own intentions. This principle leads us straight to one of the most important concepts in Avestan cosmology, Asha. The word Asha means truth, order, righteousness, and divine harmony. It is the cosmic law that sustains all existence. Living in accordance with Asha means aligning your life with the natural, moral, and spiritual order of the universe. And what opposes Asha? Druj, the force of deception, chaos, and falsehood. The self then becomes a battlefield. Each moment is a chance to choose Asha over Druj, light over darkness, truth over illusion. But this isn't just about being good in the moral sense. It's about entering into divine alignment. It's about tuning your inner frequency to that of Ahura Mazda and becoming a channel for light in a world full of shadow. The path to immortality. Here's where the Avestan vision becomes even more powerful. By living in Asha, by embodying good thoughts, good words, and good deeds, the soul is not only purified, it is elevated. It begins to transcend the physical and mental planes. It awakens to its eternal nature and moves toward immortality, not as an escape, but as a union with the divine essence from which it came. This is the spiritual promise of Avestan cosmology, that through right living, the self can fulfill its purpose, not just in this world, but in the eternal realms beyond. In Avestan cosmology, the self is not an isolated island. It's part of a vast sacred web. And at the heart of that web is one of the most beautiful mantras in ancient spiritual history, Humata, Hukhta, Huvarshta, good thoughts, good words, good deeds. But this triad isn't just a personal code. It is a universal equation, a spiritual law that binds all souls together. In Zoroastrianism, to think purely, to speak truthfully, and to act justly is to honor not only yourself, but all of creation. The impact on the collective. In modern terms, we might call this the ripple effect. Your smallest act of kindness, your silent intention to do good, it matters. Why? Because every soul is linked. What you send out into the world, whether it's cruelty or compassion, affects not only you, but the cosmic order itself. In the Avestan view, we co-create reality together. There is no neutral act. Every choice tips the scales toward Asha or Druj, toward harmony or chaos. The importance of compassion and empathy. Avestan cosmology doesn't stop at individual enlightenment. It calls for empathy, for shared responsibility, for spiritual community. Because at our core, we are reflections of the same divine source. Your pain is not separate from mine. Your joy contributes to the joy of the whole. This ancient worldview is profoundly modern in its message. We are one, not just metaphorically, but energetically, spiritually, cosmically. And in that oneness lies both the burden and the beauty of the self. Because the more you become yourself, the true, awakened self, the more you uplift the entire world. You might be wondering, what does all this ancient Persian mysticism have to do with me right now, in the 21st century? The answer is everything. Modern applications. We live in a world flooded with distraction, division, and disconnection. But the Avestan teachings cut through the noise with a message that is shockingly relevant. Your thoughts matter. Your words carry power. Your actions shape the world. This is not just spiritual poetry. It's a call to conscious living. The Avestan model of interconnectedness and moral responsibility offers a timeless roadmap for navigating everything from personal relationships to global crises. The search for meaning and purpose. In a time when so many people feel lost, numb, or spiritually empty, Avestan cosmology gives us something rare, a cosmic context. It tells us that we are not accidents, we are not alone. We are eternal souls, traveling a sacred path toward divine alignment. And in that journey lies the answer to one of life's deepest questions. What is my purpose? The Avestan answer. To live in harmony with truth, to embody compassion, to awaken the self, so that the universe itself may awaken through you. The future of the soul. Avestan cosmology reminds us that the soul is not bound by time. It is not shackled by death. It is a vital force, a spark of the divine that endures, transforms, and transcends. In a modern world obsessed with temporary success and external validation, the Avestan view invites us to shift our gaze inward, to remember who we are, to live not just for now, but for eternity. Because in the end, the wisdom of the Avesta is not locked in the past. It's an invitation to rediscover the sacred within ourselves and to live in a way that echoes across time and space. So now we return to the question we began with. What does it really mean to be you? If the ancient Avestan cosmology is right, then you are not just a name, not just a face in the crowd. You are a soul, a force of light, a thread in the divine fabric of the universe. And your every thought, every word, every action, they're not random. They're sacred choices, shaping not only your future, but the destiny of the cosmos itself. If this perspective opened something within you, if it made you reflect a little deeper, then consider this your sign. It's time to remember who you really are. Let me know in the comments. What part of the Avestan view of the self resonated most with you? Do you believe the soul is eternal? Are we truly connected in ways science has yet to explain? And hey, if you're drawn to ancient wisdom, spiritual philosophy, and the quest for meaning in a chaotic world, subscribe for more journeys into lost cosmologies and timeless truths. Give this video a like to help more seekers find it. And don't forget to hit the bell so you won't miss the next step on the path. Until next time, walk in Asha. Think good thoughts, speak kind words, do courageous deeds, and never forget, you are not alone. You are eternal.